That's nice.
Hey, Junaid.
Do you see everyone? Everyone is here? Gabriel is here. Yes, Crystal is here.
Christina.
All right, have we got everybody back?
Christina, I think. Oh no, Chris. That's there. Yeah.
Krista, is Krista here?
If you cannot see everyone, Michael, you have just at the top right a button to switch to gallery mode to see everyone.
Yes, I can see everybody. It's just, I think Krista is not with us yet.
She's not.
Netherlands.
I've just sent Krista another WhatsApp message to look on her email. Did you send her an email, Junaid?
Yeah, to everyone.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I thought when it asked me to upgrade, I thought, oh, it asked me to upgrade and then it disappeared. So I thought it automatically upgraded me, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, the timer was still counting down, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it seems to me that now I can see everybody because I'm not hosting this meeting because my internet service is too weak here. So in future, I can't be hosting these meetings because I couldn't see anybody previously. Now I can see everyone clearly.
Okay.
I'm happy to host as well. I think Junaid and I have both got ability for you.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you, Graham and Junaid.
My account, Michael, I can share it. It's just for Ubuntu. I have a premium version. So if people need it, just don't hesitate to ask me.
Thank you. So I just want to Krista. I'm sure she's going to get her email now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to just check my share screen.
She's saying this link states invalid.
Junaid, did you see that?
Yeah, I see, but normally it's this link. If I click on, oh, it's working tonight. I don't know if for you. Just try.
You're going to send her another one. Just, I don't know why. Sometimes it's corrupted or.
It's working. I just tested it for my phone.
I guess she clicked maybe on the second thing because there is two links.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Krista, the reason I was a few minutes late, believe it or not, is because I was on a very exciting call with our inventor, our energy inventor. And that's the third inventor in 2 weeks that I've spoken to now. And it's just intensifying all the time. But we'll talk about that. I'll bring up the energy thing in part of the workshop. I had a good discussion about it with Christian the other day. And I think finally the penny dropped for Christian. He got very excited, but he can tell you himself about once he fully understood the the integration of the energy, the generator, and all that. So I'm not sure what's happening to Krista. I think we do need to carry on, but it'll be good to have her here. So maybe I'll just phone her and talk her through it. You see how we're using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation.
What's great is that now it's all about eating local and eating seasonal, and that's what we're promoting.
He's not answering.
Worst case, we get a recording.
Yeah, we are recording this, so I'm not sure what to do. I think we need to carry on, otherwise we could be here the whole.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen with you. What I've created, the PowerPoint that I created. It's the ambassador introduction and workshop. Okay, I've just admitted Krista. Did you make me administrator, Junaid?
Yes.
Okay. So I've just admitted Krista. So just see if she's with us.
I'm seeing her. She's here.
Okay. Excellent. All right, Krista, welcome
There
back.
she is. Yeah.
Welcome back. So we're going to carry on with this workshop that I put together. So let's just call it what it is, Ambassador Introduction and Workshop. It's the introduction of the One Small Town, and let's go to duties and responsibilities of ambassadors. It's really important to realize that we are doing very big work. This is very serious stuff that we are doing. This is not something to be taken lightly, and often we forget this. So I just want to make sure that we remind ourselves of this. Sorry, I'm moving my little screen around so I can see my screen. So please remind yourself and remember that this is very important work. We are essentially laying the foundation for changing the world, and let it sink in. Really, let it sink in, because maybe future generations will look back at this and say, "Wow, if these guys didn't do this at this moment in our history, we wouldn't be where we are." That's hopefully they're not even going to have to do that because it'll be so far out of their memory. But what we're doing here is critical. And I don't know of any other group or any other movement that is busy with this kind of practical implementation of providing a solution. And I'm sure that if you knew of such another movement, you would be there and not here. So this is why let's realize what we're busy with. We're busy with groundbreaking, history-making and earth-changing and world-changing activities here, and let's recognize it for what it is and behave appropriately. So take it very seriously. We don't have to be serious. We can be fun and joyous and excited and inspirational, but remembering at all times that this is serious stuff we're doing, but at the same time it's very, very exciting. Also remember to always be honorable and honest at all times. So when we deal with people and they bring up questions or things that we don't know, say we don't know. Don't try and pretend something that you're not, or we don't know, we haven't figured out. We need to be honest, say, I don't know, we haven't figured that out. Let's go figure it out, because we haven't figured it out yet. We've figured out all these other things, but this one we haven't figured this one out yet. So that's what I find exciting, is that we don't have to pretend to be anything, because we've done so much. We've figured out so many things over the last 16 years that we don't have to be ashamed of anything. We come from a long line of pedigree, a 16-year-long journey of growth of consciousness. It's a organic growth of the philosophy, of the idea that just gets better and better and stronger. So know that that's where this comes from. Be very clear in your intentions and your communications. So make sure that when you deal with people, that they understand what it is that you're saying. Be clear in your intent, what it is that we're doing, and communicate it very, very clearly. And I stress this because you will find, as you start to engage with people in your country and wherever you are engaging with them in your language, in your country, people will come to you with the wrong ideas, with the wrong misinterpretation of what One Small Town is, or what it is that they think you're doing. And they often start to impose their ideas on you. They will try their best to impose their ideas on you and to try and infiltrate the Ubuntu movement and the One Small Town initiative with their ideas, their philosophies, and their grand schemes. So please be aware of this. It's going to happen over and over and over again. And if you're not strong, and if you're not clear, very clear in your intent, and you must communicate that intent and what it is that One Small Town is, what it is that you're saying, what your message is, if you're not clear in that, people will misunderstand and they will reach the wrong conclusions, and it could waste a lot of time and effort, or often it can create some bad vibes because people feel that, you know, they might be misled by us. And to be able to be clear and to be able to communicate clearly and with intent, you need to be fully informed and fully prepared for all the possible questions. So be aware of this, because when you go out there and you start to talk to people about One Small Town implementation, you'll come under a lot of, well, first of all, you may come under attack. So be aware of that and understand how to deal with that attack. All right. So you don't have to be apologetic for anything. Don't ever be apologetic for what we are doing. The moment you become apologetic, you become weak. And we become weak. We don't have to apologize for anything. We've always been honorable. We've always been truthful. I can stand proud for everything I've ever done, because everything I've ever done is open to everyone to see. It's on the internet. It's on Facebook. It's everywhere. People can follow the chronology, the growth of the movement over the 16-year period, from before it even was launched as a movement. They can see how it's evolved. So we don't have to apologize for anything. We don't have to be ashamed of anything. So be fully informed. Watch all the videos. If you haven't watched them yet, watch all the Q&A videos and watch them more than once. But we will go through Q&As ourselves. This is important that we as ambassadors are aware of the Q&As and are aware of what it is that we're doing. And know how to answer these questions that will come up, because you will be asked questions as an ambassador, and you should be prepared and ready to answer as many of those questions as possible. And if you don't know the answer, then you say, I don't know, I haven't got that answer yet, but I'm sure Michael might have the answer. You can always point things at me. If you're not sure, revert it to me, because I may have dealt with it. I probably have dealt with it. There's a 99% chance that I've dealt with it. And if I haven't, that's when we say, wow, that's a great question. We have not dealt with this yet. And I've had one or two of those over the last few months, which I was very excited about. I'm always excited when I get a question that we haven't had before, because otherwise it gets really boring. It's like the same bloody Clockwork Orange questions. It feels like we stuck in some a mind warp trap, you know? So take things seriously, be honorable, be honest, be clear about our intention, and be clear in your communication. Be fully informed so that you can be very clear in your communication. Be prepared for questions, and then make sure that you focus on our objectives, because always come back to what it is that we're doing. We're promoting One Small Town, and I'm going to come back to this a little bit later. We're not promoting the Ubuntu movement. We're not promoting the Ubuntu philosophy. We're not promoting that. That's the old, that's what we've graduated from. The Ubuntu movement is the global movement and the platform and the foundation that gave birth to the one small town strategy and the one small town ideology and philosophy. So we're promoting the one small town implementation strategy. We're not promoting the Ubuntu movement and so forth. So let's try and get into a cycle of talking about one small town strategy, and let's graduate out of the Ubuntu movement. The Ubuntu movement is there. It comes, the strategy comes from the Ubuntu movement and everything we've done since our launch many years ago. All right, so just a few of these points that are very important to absorb and to digest, obviously. So what we use to make ourselves heard and to share with people, obviously all the presentation materials, videos, which there are many of already. What's important is that we need as many of the videos translated into different languages. So I will do my best to find whatever I can find available in different languages that has already been translated. But I think it may be better for us if we actually start and find people that can help us to translate things into, well, in France, I know Junaid and Tibat and Junaid's team, they've already got translators that have done a phenomenal job. All the work that they've done is just fantastic. And with the translation side. And I know that in Germany, a lot has happened already. So quite a lot of materials available in German. Keep in mind that the Ubuntu book is available in Spanish. It's available in German, in Spanish, in Italian, in French. It's not available in Portuguese. It's available in Croatian, by the way, Christian. The Ubuntu book is available in Croatia. In Croatian, we're going to have to reach out to the Croatian publisher because I gave them the rights to publish it in Croatian because it's a small market, or a relatively small market in that language. So I wasn't particularly worried about giving the publishing rights away to Croatia. But so we can get the Croatian Ubuntu book for those who want it. But it's important for us to try and translate as many of the videos, and especially the future videos that we're going to be making from now on. We should translate as quickly as we can into all the different languages, especially the languages that we have ambassadors in those countries, like Australia. Like Australians need to speak their own language, otherwise they don't understand it. Right, Mark?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Translate it into Australian, mate.
That's right, mate.
So obviously the PowerPoint presentations are much easier to translate than videos. And maybe the PowerPoint presentation is a good way to go, because then that is a very simple way to standardize the message so that the message goes out exactly the same in each language. So we create the PowerPoint in English. We all agree that this is a PowerPoint we want to work with. And then we just replace the word into the language that we want. So the PowerPoint remains exactly the same with the same images, the same sequence. The only thing it changes is the language. And then we take that PowerPoint and we put a voiceover to that PowerPoint so that the voiceover is exactly the same in each language. So just some ideas and suggestions into creating presentation materials into the future, because keep in mind that this has been a self-funded exercise. As generous as many people have been over the years, I remain the primary funder of the Ubuntu movement and everything we've done. So there's always been waves of how much money I have, whether I have some money coming from my book sales and my tours. Pretty much all the money that comes in has always gone into keeping the Ubuntu movement alive. That's why I live in a shoebox. But otherwise, the written documents, PowerPoints, I think are great tools to get the written documents across and keep the consistency the same in all languages. So let's keep that in mind as we go forward and try and create new written material and also visual material, because the PowerPoint can be turned into a video very easily, obviously. And
I just wanted to add, Mr. Michael, interviews are important. Like I'm
Yes.
getting a journalist, a trustable journalist that people respect to ask me like the tough questions and I can answer them. This way, whoever's watching will, will have all his questions answered in the right
Yes.
way. That's important.
Absolutely. So Q&As are very important. And we need to make sure that when you do speak to a journalist that you have the right answers for them, so that we don't spread the wrong messages. And this is why central control, and I don't want us to sound like a communist regime, but central control in terms of standardizing logos, standardizing artwork, standardizing Facebook pages, standardizing websites. The Italian website looks the same as the French website or the English or the German website. They all look the same. The only thing it changes is the language. And I know that we might have to do some adjustments in the French website. The Italian website looks identical to the English website. So important considerations that we need to work through. Keep in mind that we are no longer focusing on Ubuntu and all the historical stuff. So that avoids and prevents a lot of unnecessary work. We're focusing on One Small Town and the implementation plan for One Small Town. So it'll make our translation work and website work a lot easier into the future. So let me talk about the artwork themes, the artwork and the memes. By memes, I mean, clever pieces of art with a statement or something. So memes must be standardized. And I want to invite you and encourage you to come up with ideas for memes, share those with me so that I can then give it to our designer who will take that meme and design it so it goes with the right logos and standardized logos. So it always looks like it comes from the Ubuntu movement and the One Small Town team, One Small Town strategy, and it's not created by different people and on different design packages, and everything looks different. It has to look highly professional, really good quality, and have a standardized kind of theme, so people instantly recognize it as, Donald Trump's message or Hunter Biden's message or whoever's message, right? So they recognize it's a message that comes from us and not from somebody else. And the logos are very important, obviously. I'm in the final stages of standardizing and finalizing the logos so that when we do use the logos, we each get allocated a logo. You don't create your own logo and run with that. And unfortunately, this happened in the past. And in hindsight now, as generous as I was trying to encourage people to go out there and share the Ubuntu message and do this, it backfired in many ways, right? Because what happened, people started their own Ubuntu Facebook pages and their Ubuntu websites, and they used the logo, my logo that I have copyright on, right? And the Ubuntu movement has copyright on it, and the Ubuntu Planet nonprofit company has copyright on the Ubuntu logo, but you'll see it being used all over the internet by people that have nothing to do with us and the Ubuntu movement or the One Small Town strategy. So we need to make sure that when people find any of these other Facebook pages or social media pages or websites, they must know very quickly that it is not the official Ubuntu or One Small Town communication or website. So the logos and the artwork must be centralized, must be approved before we use it. So don't just go off and start using or creating new logos. Please don't do that. It's just going to create more problems. Let's create a beautiful range and start creating a beautiful new range of artworks, logos. And that also includes clothing materials, stickers, shirts, caps, bags, everything in different languages that we then put on our website that you as the ambassador of your country can then promote in your own language. And then a portion of the income from that will go to you and your office so that you've got working capital to work with. Okay, these are important considerations. So this is how we also try and raise funds for the Ubuntu office, the head office, and then also the individual ambassadors' offices in different countries through the web shop and the money that we generate from the paraphernalia and the goods that we sell on the Ubuntu web shop or the One Small Town web shop. So again, we will encourage artists and designers and people to design all kinds of ideas. But before we put it out as a finished product, it has to be vetted. It has to be approved with a right feel and logo and etc. before we actually put it on the website as an item that's available as an approved Ubuntu or One Small Town website. And keep in mind that people may want to buy an Ubuntu t-shirt. Although we're promoting One Small Town, people might want to buy an Ubuntu t-shirt because they feel passionate about it, and key rings and whatever, stickers and whatever, all those things. So,
Michael, I just wanted to add, I don't know if you want to talk about it now or at the end, and about the app. Having an app.
I forgot about the app. Please tell us about the app, Fayez. Yeah.
Okay, so basically one of my closest friends here, her name is Angel, and she's a software engineer and she designs apps. She's based in the UK and she has a terrific team around her. So we've already spoken about having a One Small Town app. Now it's a combination of, example, there's a company here, Coopel, which you search for jobs, and once you fill in your registration and you put your CV, it allocates jobs, gives you offers every week. So you can sign up and you can receive information immediately and instantly. So look at our app as something to do with the jobs related to the villages and anything you're looking for. Simultaneously, it's like a council app where people will understand what One Small Town is doing, or the project, or the businesses. And it's basically, modern day information that people can get connected to. Now, the whole idea is to come up with all different ideas that we all share so that we can hopefully have one global app where you just, introduce it to every country and basically be as transparent as possible, as digital friendly as possible, and connect everyone.
So the idea obviously would be, Fayez, to take that app and adapt it for every One Small Town situation. So that community has its own One Small Town app for that town and municipality, so that you can't join that community from an outside town. You have to be part of that town and a community to join that. So you and I still need to talk in more detail with the developer to find the parameters for this app. But I think the foundation, the platform for that app sounds perfect. A job application.
People put proof of residence and passport, and then it's try for them to enter. You know how the procedure usually goes.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. So let's have a separate meeting on the app.
Perfect.
So we can make sure that it goes in the right direction, so that it avoids frustration and unnecessary work by the designers or the developers.
Correct.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Fayez.
Perfect.
All right, then the next thing is communication and emails and others. It's important that our communication is very clear. That I've only been able, as I sit here now, I don't know if I can open no, I can't open, I'm sharing my screen. If I recall, I've only been able to verify 4 of the new emails, 4 of your country at onesmalltown.org emails. If so, please do me a favor, just do what you can to link to that email so that you can receive and also send. The important thing is that you can send from that email so that it arrives as Lebanon at onesmalltown.org. I know I got Christian, Holland or Netherlands, UK, and one other one. I think, I don't know if Andreas, but please just make sure that you send me an email from that your country at onesmalltown.org email, so that I can check that I'm getting it like that. And that means that other people also get your email knowing that it comes from you, the officially approved email address from the ambassador in that country, One Small Town ambassador in that country. And once again, keep in mind, I do this because I've learned the hard way in the beginning, when we were just far more free with sharing things and just allowing people to do their own thing. Unfortunately, it backfired on me in ways that I could not have predicted, where people just went off and started their own little movements and their own little thing. And before you know, they start sharing their own philosophy, their own ideas, their own ideologies, and they start telling people, no, they don't like what we are doing. And they start promoting a completely different ideology and building communities on a piece of land and, you know, growing dope and whatever. I'm just using extreme examples, and completely moving away from the Ubuntu and one small town philosophy, but still using our logos and now having an official website or a Facebook page that was originally associated with us, but because I didn't have control of it, now I can't stop them from running rogue and pretty much going rogue. And that's infiltration. That's infiltrators. So we need to make sure that the communication is very clear, that the emails come from the official website, or the official email address, and the Facebook pages are authenticated. Please find your country's Facebook page, sign up to it. You've all been given either administrator or editorial roles for your country's Facebook page. I think everyone's been given an editor's role. That means that you can't kick me off and take over and hijack the Facebook page. So you can do everything on that Facebook page except kick me off and shut it down. Everything else you can do. But if you do something that we don't like, we can go in and edit it and then remove you if you become rogue. And believe me, I say this because this has happened in the past, and we can't have this happen again.
With the comments on the comments on the Facebook, are those managed? So you have to approve the comments, because I'm just conscious of web trolls.
Yes, it'll be entirely up to you as the editor of that Facebook page to determine how you want to do that. If you have time to edit to approve them, great. If not, then what I do is a one strike out. One negative invader, infiltrator, one negative attack on my Facebook page. That's it. They blocked immediately. So it's a zero tolerance policy. We must adopt a zero tolerance policy. We cannot suffer fools and infiltrators and terrorists in our Facebook pages. We can't allow that. So if anybody is seen or perceived to be a troll or an invader or a infiltrator, well, that's the next slide, actually. Infiltrators and instigators, how to deal with such individuals, etc. So zero tolerance policy, right? If anybody causes trouble, just delete and block. That's it. Do not give these people a platform. Do not enter. Oh, the other thing is, do not enter arguments. Do not get into arguments and debates with people. Unless it's obviously you have to feel this out. So it's entirely up to you to feel when it's appropriate to respond or get into maybe once or twice response, but you can't get into a response like a bloody ping pong match with somebody. That's not your job here. It's not your job to have a one-on-one argument with somebody on a Facebook page. That's not your job. You have a much bigger task to do here. So please remember that. So as I mentioned before, infiltrators and instigators are going to come at you like they've been coming at me for many, many years, and they will do everything. They may even create social media smearing campaigns about you. It's unbelievable what people will do. It's really disturbing in some ways. But remember all the time, be proud of who we are, be proud of what we've achieved, be proud of the pedigree and the background and the foundation that we come from. You don't ever have to second guess yourself, second guess who we are, why we're doing this. We know exactly, we're 100% clear why we are doing this. So don't ever feel apologetic about what we are doing, and don't feel that if somebody attacks you, that you have to respond to them and justify what you are doing. Do never, ever feel the need to justify what it is we are doing. We have 16 freaking years of justification. If they don't know what we are doing, then they're ill-informed and they need to go away and do their homework. It's not up to you to get into one-on-one explanation to justify what you and we are doing. Okay, they must go away, they must watch the videos, they must read the book, they must do their homework. And if they're not sure, and if they don't like what we are doing, then thank you very much. There's a big world out there. Find another movement that you resonate with and who you like what they're doing, and join them and leave us alone. Okay, so let's not tolerate fools, instigators, and infiltrators. Do not feel that you need to justify what we are doing, because it's completely unnecessary. If you feel the need that you need to maybe nudge the person in the right direction, then yes, you can do that. Okay, but you don't have to respond to people and get into a table tennis ping pong match with them on Facebook. So zero tolerance policy. And then the next point there is Office of Collaboration. And this is one of the most common things. I mean, I get it literally every day. Somebody somewhere who is doing a phenomenal job somewhere, and they've either heard about Ubuntu or they've heard about One Small Town. They've maybe seen 1 minute of a video somewhere, and they've made up their own mind what it is that we do and what it is that we are doing. And now they're desperate to talk to me, and they become like vultures. They want to talk to me. They won't give up because they want to share with me their brilliant idea, because they know that I will love their idea, and they know that I'm going to want to work with them on their brilliant idea. Okay, you're going to be overrun by people that will want to sell their idea to you, so that you focus on their idea, and One Small Town will suddenly become focused on their idea. So keep in mind, this is my official policy. This has been the Ubuntu and my official policy for as long as I've been around. We honor and support and welcome everyone out there who's doing everything or anything to help humanity. And there are thousands and thousands of incredible movements, incredible actions and charities and whatever, community projects, thousands of them, maybe millions of them, that are doing incredible work. And I send all of those my love, my support, and my greatest, highest feelings or whatever, energy of success. I forget what the right word is there. So we support all those movements. If they want to help humanity, increase the consciousness, create prosperity and abundance, we support every single one of those in our hearts and in our spirit and verbally. But that's as far as we can go. Okay, we have to focus on what we're doing. So we cannot cooperate or collaborate with anybody. That is not our job here. We many of these people are very good salesmen. They're very, very good salespeople. They try to sell you and try and say, yeah, but if you do this, and if you promote this Bitcoin idea or this new cryptocurrency to all members, then you'll make so much money, and then this can fund your movement. You'll hear all kinds of stories from people that are going to try and hook you in to what it is that they are doing, so that the Ubuntu movement and the One Small Town initiative gets hooked into what they're doing. So be aware of this. It's going to happen a lot. So always bring it back to, thank you very much. What you're doing sounds fantastic. I love what you're doing, and we will support what you're doing, but that's as far as we can go, right? We must focus on One Small Town. That is our initiative, our strategy, and this is what we're focusing on. If, however, and when we launch One Small Town, wherever it may be, we will make sure that we include your initiative if it suits that One Small Town model. Okay, yeah. So that's how we get around this, and how we neutralize this never-ending hunger for cooperation and collaboration and let's work together. No, we can't work together with anyone. We work on our own. We are a movement called the Ubuntu movement with a One Small Town strategy. We'll align ourselves with certain ideologies where and when we feel it's right. We will support such ideas, but we focus on One Small Town. And when we launch One Small Town and somebody's got a cure for cancer, then we will bring that cure for cancer into our town. If somebody's got a great new Bitcoin idea that they want to launch, and we feel that that one small town is a good platform for it, which I doubt, but if we feel it's going to happen, then we'll bring it in there. Because remember, we're not into launching new cryptocurrencies. We're using the existing tools of enslavement. We're using existing currencies, existing money, dollars, yens, euros, rands, pounds, whatever it is. That's what we're using. And that's what makes us strong. And if you don't yet understand why we're using that, is because those are the tools that enslave us. The primary tools of enslavement are the major currencies of the world. Bitcoin doesn't enslave us. Dollars and pounds enslave us, right? If you don't have dollars or pounds,
Yep.
that's it. You can't pay your rent. You can't go to the bank. You can't have a bank account. You can't do anything. And they cannot shut down the pound. They cannot shut down the dollar, because then they're shutting down their own tool of commerce. So we're using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation, and those are the primary tools of enslavement and tools of enslavement, the different currencies of the world. So I hope I've cleared that up. What are we not doing? There's very important things. Again, what you will find is that because of what we are doing, because of what we are offering people, we're offering a solution, a simple solution. We suddenly bring hope to people's lives, and people go crazy. Literally, they find one small town, and they get so excited. They just want to get involved, and and they become like a crazy child. And by doing that, they become dangerous. So you need to calm them down, and make sure that they have a much clearer understanding or comprehension of what it is that we're actually doing. Because 99% of the time, when people find what we do, they reach the wrong conclusions. They think that we want to buy a piece of land and grow some food, or we want to create cryptocurrencies, or we want to go into bartering and trading and stop using money, or we want to, whatever. They come up with the wrong conclusions, their own ideas of what they've been thinking about. And this is what even yesterday and this morning, I was talking to a new technology developer here in South Africa who's got some amazing technologies. And he also just jumped to those conclusions. So it looks to me like you're getting into more of a community-driven bartering and trading. And I said, no, completely the opposite. There's no bartering and trading where we're coming from. It is absolutely the opposite of bartering and trading. So make sure that you stop the people in their tracks before they go down the wrong rabbit hole, right? And you don't have to be apologetic about it. Be very strong about it, okay? So what we are not doing are all the things that people normally jump to conclusions about. Like, we're not creating intentional communities, okay? We're not doing that. All the intentional communities around the world are a giant bloody disaster. They are an embarrassment to society. They're an embarrassment to humanity and to the human spirit. That's what they are. In fact, I'm disgusted in all of the intentional communities around the world. And I feel very strongly about that. So we're not building huts. We're not growing food on a piece of land like hippies, okay? We're not doing that. We're not living in caves. We're not going back to the dark ages. We're not doing any of those things. We're actually going we're going to the stars, because we're inviting innovation and technology and invention into our new communities, into the one small towns. We'll have the best technology, the best medicine, the best education, the best of everything. So we're certainly not going back to the caves and going back to the dark ages. And that's one of the frequently asked questions. Once you've gone through the frequently asked questions, you'll understand that very, very clearly. Please, I must stress here, please, if you have not watched the frequently asked questions, the whole series of videos, I think there are about 19 in there, watch those. Those are really, really important, because while you watch those 19 frequently asked questions, it will cement many other things for you that you may not have thought about yet, right? So we're not isolating ourselves from the world. So, many people think that if they create a community and they don't interact with the rest of the world, that's going to somehow save them. That's the stupidest idea that anyone can come up with. So we're not isolating ourselves from the world. We're not creating alternative currencies or cryptocurrencies. That is often a misconception that people jump to that conclusion. We're not creating communities without money. In fact, we're inviting money and investors to our town. We're creating communities that make more money than any other community before. We're making our towns incredibly wealthy in pounds, euros, rands, yen, dollars, pesos. We're making our countries, our towns incredibly wealthy. But this is the twist. And so please understand this subtle difference, because you may hear me say in some of the early videos, and this is why people jump to the wrong conclusions, because many, many years ago, in the early videos about Ubuntu and the origins of money, I was promoting the concept very, very strongly for many years of removing money from society, from creating communities and creating a world without money. And for many years, that was a very strong theme, because money is the primary tool of evil and enslavement, right? That's the thing that keeps us all in slavery. And when I realized that we don't need money to create abundance and prosperity and innovation and technology, that money does nothing, people do everything. So when I realized that, I was promoting the removal of money from society. But how do you remove money from society? You can't just take money out of society. That's not going to work. The world, we know, it will completely collapse, and it's simply impossible. It's not going to happen, because the guys that control money run the world. So many people watch those early videos and they jump to the wrong conclusions. They think that we're creating communities without money. So you'll get that all the time. So just be prepared for that. We're actually creating communities that make more money than any other company or community in the world. And by creating so much money and abundance and prosperity in food, shelter, healthcare, technology, and money, and everything else, and sharing all those benefits with everybody in that town, in that one small town, without the people having to pay for it, we can call it that you can live for free in that community. So you don't have to use money in that community. So things are for free as long as you contribute, or as long as you're part of the One Small Town initiative. So can you see the difference? We're creating communities that make as much money as we can imagine, but by creating such communities, we realize that we don't have to use money. So we end up not using money in those towns. So when somebody says, are you creating communities without money? It's a double-edged sword. No, we're creating communities by using a lot of money to set it up, because we need money to set up the companies, to set up the businesses. And that's why we need investors. But the final outcome is going to be, when we have all this abundance, we no longer have to use money in our communities. Everybody will still get money every month from all the businesses, and you'll be putting your money in the bank, and your banks will grow with money every month, but you don't have to use that money. So, and you see, it's a weird, twisted thing that this creating communities without money deals with. Very important concept, not to get confused about, because people get confused about this. So you would have seen in this document that Fayez shared with the mayor, you'll notice the last 3 pages or so actually spell out how profitable the town can be, how profitable a town with 5,000 people or 10,000 people can be, that such a town can generate $1 billion or more turnover per annum, which would suggest that every person in that town can get around $40,000 per annum for working 3 hours a week. So we're creating very wealthy communities where people have abundance and prosperity, including cash, including money. So what we're also not doing is we're not fighting the system, or we're not fighting anyone else. And this is very important. So we don't ever have to oppose anyone. By creating One Small Town, we're not opposing any political parties. We're not opposing any political system or any financial system or any capitalist system. We're actually using that system to create successful businesses and successful community projects and successful education systems and successful anything we choose to do. So we're not fighting the system. We're not opposing the system. We're not resisting the system or anyone else that is already entrenched in that system. Because there is still, unfortunately, in many people's minds, this revolutionary residue, hangover from communism and East Germany and Czechoslovakia and Poland and all these countries that have fought so long to come out of communism. And in many ways, some of the people in those countries sometimes feel a bit suspicious of contributionism, because to them it sounds like communism. And they don't want to go back to communism. So please be aware of this. Contributionism is unlike any other ism that we've ever had. Contributionism creates abundance and prosperity. It puts the people in charge. It puts the people in control, because the people own the companies and the businesses, not the government, not the mayor, not the council. The people own everything, and they make all the money out of it, and therefore they have access to everything, and therefore they have everything they need. So we're not fighting the system, we're not opposing the system, or we're not opposing or resisting or fighting anyone. The other thing that we don't want to do as ambassadors or anyone else that is working with you, we don't want to go on a mass emailing spree or a mass spamming spree to spam the mayors and the councillors with our emails and piss them off or make them irritated when they see the word Ubuntu, when they see one small town or ambassador. They don't want to talk to you because they've been bombarded by spam emails. So we have to become very strategic, very careful, and very clear in our strategy, how we approach the municipalities, the mayors, and then also the community leaders in those towns. In some countries, like in South Africa, you can approach either the mayor, you can approach some of the councillors, or you can approach the community leaders. And the community leaders come in different shapes and sizes. They come in the youth leaders, which in South Africa are very powerful. You have the senior community leaders and the influencers, and then you also have the religious leaders, the pastors and the priests in the communities. So there normally are about 4 or 5 types of community leaders that you can approach in South Africa, and I trust it'll probably be the same in most other countries. So we have mayors, we have councillors, and we have community leaders to approach. So we have to create very clear strategies how we're going to do that without pissing them off or spamming them or getting them upset when they see our faces or our logos. They need to be excited, and they want to be able to talk to us because they want to find out more about this amazing plan that can save their town. So let's, before we go out with any marketing campaigns, we need to have another meeting or at least several strategies and have a standardized PowerPoint presentation, a standardized document or a written presentation, and a standardized video that we can then share with those mayors, councillors, and community leaders. And each one of those will have to be strategically aimed at whoever the person is. Obviously, we're going to talk differently to a community leader as opposed to a mayor. Keep in mind that in towns or countries where the mayors are not elected by the people, the community leaders are actually far more powerful than the mayor. The mayor might be in charge and might be a dictator sociopath like we have in South Africa. Most of our mayors are political beast sociopaths. That's it. They're criminals. They steal everything from the people. And the community leaders can take control literally overnight because they can marshal the people and bring the people together to stand united and create the business opportunities, create the website, create the whole package of the one small town without the mayor, without the councillor. They don't need the mayor or the councillor. They, the people, as a community, together with their community leaders, can structure that co-op or nonprofit entity and launch the One Small Town initiative without the mayor being involved. We'll talk about this later and how this will become a very powerful motivating factor for mayors to then realize what's going on, that their community is taking control, And they will then need to become part of that initiative. Otherwise, they seem to be fighting their community, standing in the way of progress of the community. And that's not going to go down well in South Africa. I can tell you that. I don't know about other countries like Holland, but if the mayor seems to be standing in the way of the community progress and the community initiatives and community co-op, that mayor is going to look very bad in the media and very bad in social media and very bad everywhere. So that's a strategy that we employ in countries like South Africa, Germany, I think it's Germany, Holland, and where mayors are not elected by the people. Right. Well, my voice is getting hoarse here.
Just going to suggest, sorry, Michael, can we take a quick 2 to 5 minute comfort break?
Yes, let's take a break and come back. We've got about 15 minutes left here, and then we're done. All right, let's come back. It's 13:45 now. Let's come back at 13:50.
Cool.
How's everyone back?
So,
All right, sorry, I'm a minute late. Whoa. All right, so where was I? I was getting so excited over there. As I,
Talking about what we're not.
sorry?
We're talking about what we're not.
Yes, exactly.
What we're not. What we're not
Okay,
doing.
so
Yeah.
where are we going? Okay, the other important thing is that I just put this in here because it will come up obviously all the time. We need to outgrow the past perceptions of the Ubuntu party and what we were before. Like I said, people reach the wrong ideas and the wrong conclusions, and then they. So we need to make sure that we promote one small town. We talk about one small town. That's what we're doing. One small town, and obviously anybody talks about the Ubuntu party and politics. That's something of the past. We're not involved in that for many years. Just be aware of that because it may come up. It may come up. And then the other thing I'll put here is a website prototype. And I'm beginning to think that maybe we should start creating a website prototype if we can find some good quality IT people that can help us do this, which I might have here, unless Junaid has some ideas or anyone else here, and actually come up with an idea for what a one small town website is going to look like and start developing it so that we have it ready for the town. And maybe Fayez and the Lebanese town and the mayor may give us that opportunity to create this prototype website. I don't know if Fayez is there, if he's got anything to say about this.
Definitely. I mean, the prototype is very important. And I just wanted to bring up the Facebook issue. It's important if we can share the pictures and the video and obviously in different languages. Now, in terms of the website, it has to do with the application I was talking about, where simultaneously anyone that enters, once approved by us, will have full access to everything we're doing. So I think it wouldn't be an issue at all bringing our village to it.
When you talk about site prototype, what do you mean? Is it the platform to coordinate Ubuntu projects or one small town projects, or just what?
No, it's really the it's the PR. It's what one small town, whatever, Waterval Boven, what is it? Oh wow. So we actually created as if we can come up with a name for a town. We can use the town in Lebanon as an example and start developing that website with that town in mind, because we're going to be doing it very soon in any case. So maybe we use this town as an example and as a prototype, because the website that we're going to put the pictures of the town, the pictures of the mayor, the video of the mayor, the introduction, the launch, the ideology, what it is. So if anybody in the world wants to know what one small town, whatever, is doing, they go to their website and they go, wow, and they see the introduction by the mayor, the video. They see interviews of the people. They read the information. They read the mission statement of what this is about. What are we doing in our town? Then they go, then they go to the business, to the new business opportunities. They click there, and then they see 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 business plans like you've structured. These are all the opportunities. So let's use the Lebanese town. If it's going to move as quickly as we think it is, let's use that as the first prototype, and then all the others can just follow the same kind of model.
To add there, okay, I mean, in common, all of us should have the same mission, vision of the one small town, what the strategy is, the founder, Michael, a little bit of the history. And then in particular, we're focused on the mayor of our village, Ras Al Matan, and then current projects in mind, a little bit about the people that have already joined. We can talk about that a little bit, the co-owners that have already signed up. Is that what we're going to call them, co-owners?
Yes, I think we should have a separate meeting about the website, maybe especially those that are working on it, and develop something that we can then share with the rest of the team. But it's really a PR platform. It's a publicity platform for
Beautiful.
doing in this town. And I must make it very clear. I don't want, my name doesn't have to be associated with it in any way. It's not about me. It's not about Ubuntu. It's about the mayor, the people, and the town. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm way, so it needs to be the town, the mayor, the people, the council, the cooperation, the excitement, the businesses they presenting, the beauty of the town, the tourism opportunities, the computer opportunities, the healthcare opportunities, that all the businesses that we've identified. So it's a process that I think we'll sit down and I'll write down the sort of what's the word, the organogram of what I think the website should look like. I'll share it with you, and then we can take it from there.
What often happens in people's mindsets is the propaganda. They almost need this seeing is believing concept. So if even if it's not in place, we could have kind of almost even cartoons, something that actually gives them that sort of sense of addressing the what's in it for me mindset.
Well, it could be like
over the hurdle.
Yeah, look, I think Graham, what I agree with you totally. Really, the reason I brought this up is because when we launch the first One Small Town, it's going to be launched with the website, company or product. It's launched. It's a product. Remember that it's a marketing opportunity. What we're doing is we're creating a marketing campaign around the town, its people, and the business opportunities that they're presenting to the world. That's really all this is. That's in a nutshell. That's what we're doing.
And once it succeeds in one village, that's it. That could be the best reference.
Yeah, because somebody from some other country will see this website and go, wow, look at these people. They got their act together. They created a co-op. They've started all these businesses. And then obviously spreadsheets, very important to have the spreadsheets there to show the potential of these businesses. And they're going to see this and go, wow, all these people in this little town, this pisswilly bloody town in Australia got together and they got their act together, and look this amazing stuff they're doing, and it inspires people in other countries and other towns, and it creates that inspirational domino effect. So it's everything that we do needs to be structured so that it helps to inform and inspire people. So we'll get back to this. So this is really important, but let's talk about the spreadsheets as the examples. So just really, Junaid, you're the guy that did the spreadsheets. You're the guy that got very excited because of what you found doing the spreadsheets. So it's important that you share those spreadsheets in a way that they can be understood by the people out there. So I would suggest that you and Graham, since he's the accountant here as well, work together to try them into English and put them in a language that they easily understood. That anyone,
I already did the work.
They've already translated into English.
Yeah, it's I just made a very accessible way to understand how I did it, because the spreadsheets, my real spreadsheets, are very highly technical. Yeah, so I just sent you yesterday my a small a PPT for all ambassadors to get the process to how I estimate my budget in function of a kind of different project. I already sent you all of that. It's a big helping to understand, and with my spreadsheets, so not my spreadsheet, but how I calculate where I find my data. You check email. You have it. I sent you here. I sent.
Yeah, I got it just before we started here. So what I'd like to suggest, Junaid, is that you and I have a separate call about that, so you can take me through it, so that I just understand it 100% and there's no gray areas.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Happy to join in on that.
Yeah. So maybe it might be you, me, and Graham, and then agree. Either we leave it in the form that you've created it, or we tweak it and upgrade it or improve it if necessary, and then let's use those as the standardized kind of ways or packages that we then share future spreadsheets and future business opportunities with people on the website, because they want to see it. They want to see it. And that's where we can get the artist impressions and little videos and whatever to help support and promote that business idea, supported by the business, the spreadsheet and the profit, the exciting profits.
Yes, and I have some concrete examples to share, because I take the bakery example. All of when I do my conference, I take the bakery, for example. And just 3 days ago, I met my friend who exactly used almost Ubuntu philosophy to bakery business model, and it's very huge how much money he can save. And he has the Ubuntu mindset. You'll meet here, I guess, because he's an investor, and he proved what I said, and I was very excited because he really proved without with just small adjustment.
Look, one of the we'll talk more in future discussions. We'll talk more about the different types of businesses in the workshop, in the crash course workshop that I shared with you, the PowerPoint presentation that I shared with everybody. If you haven't received it, let me know. I can send it to you again. But that'll go up on the Ubuntu website in any case, the One Small Town website, so that everybody can download and everybody can see it and use it if they need to for their own personal whatever. Where was I going with it? I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Can I just ask something, Michael, please?
Yes.
I just have to get this clear for me. I'm sorry if everybody has understood this, but I haven't. Well, there's going to be just one, because we're talking about the One Small Town initiative, and on your website, the current website, the Ubuntu Contribution website, we still have the factors explaining about the One Small Town. Are you going to detach that from your website, from the current website, and we will construct an independent One Small Town website with all the current towns, excuse me, with all the current One Small Town projects on one website? Is that how it's going to be?
I think that we're going to have to do that at some stage, because the One Small Town should be its own website, its own ideology, its own philosophy.
Yes.
I think it's,
so you don't want me to go out there and just build up a website, Brazil, One Small Town, and then have everything in Portuguese. We can interact with this one website, and then we have all the cities, and with this we can interlink in our own language. Is that possible?
yes, something like
Okay.
that. But
Good.
and no, you're talking about a new sort of centralized One Small Town website that talks about the One Small Town strategy.
Or like a platform.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
but look, so there are two different things that we're talking about here. So let me start by saying I do believe that we need to separate the One Small Town idea and plan as its own separate website, away from the Ubuntu website, so that it doesn't confuse people, because people get confused.
That's the response I had from a friend of mine. He went on your website and he really didn't. It wasn't clear to him. So this is just to avoid problems in the future.
Exactly.
Michael,
exactly.
every village will have its independent website. I mean, if in Lebanon we get to 3 villages, what will happen then? Are we going to separate them?
So this is why, and let's clarify this. So the onesmalltown.org needs to be its own website. The idea, the philosophy, the plan, some of the videos, all to do with One Small Town. But that's the website for the One Small Town idea. Every town that implements this One Small Town is its separate own very unique thing. That's got nothing to do with this website I'm talking about. So when I talk about the One Small Town website for a town, it is that town's activities, with that town's pictures, the logos, the images of the town, the businesses, the mayor, the community, what they're doing and their offer to the world. That's got nothing to do with onesmalltown.org. That's the home company.
So like a community website.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have just
Krista, did Krista want to say something?
Yeah, but you already have the onesmalltown.news.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're all on there.
Onesmalltown.news is there. That's more of a news website. Onesmalltown.org now links to Ubuntu contributionism. So we can separate that so that onesmalltown.org links to its own website that only deals with one small town issues.
I have some technical questions because for SEO, maybe we need to keep some keywords because some people can find your book and your book is Ubuntu contributionism, and we need to find a way when they putting this word to find the good website. It's a little bit technical, but we need to clarify this thing because we have the French web Facebook page. It's Ubuntu Friends and One Small Town. So okay, we are focused on this strategy, but how we can keep a connection, engineering between them.
Okay, so I can quickly explain. Over the last week, my new webmaster, Natasha, she might be in touch. You probably work with Natasha at some stage, and whoever else joins the website team, the IT team. She started to set up all the One Small Town Facebook pages. So from now on, I want to focus all of us on the One Small Town Facebook pages. Obviously, the Ubuntu France, Ubuntu South Africa, those are all, they're there. They're never going to go away. They've got a whole history and people can go surf there and find information. But I want to start focusing and putting all the new information and the new activity on the One Small Town Facebook page and the One Small Town news page. So those two are the internet, social media faces for what we are doing in the different countries. So let's just talk about the onesmalltown.news. Every one of you should already have, or if you don't have yet, get access to be an editor on the onesmalltown.news page under your country. So you can write articles and little events in your own language under your country. That will automatically get sucked in to the One Small Town international news. So it'll appear under your country, France or Croatia or wherever, and also appear in the One Small Town international news section. The idea is that we then try and translate it into English so that the English-speaking people can also read what's going on in the other countries and be excited about that. So we'll see how we can make that work. But very soon, I would really like to inspire you, each one of you in your own language, to start writing, even if it's a 3-line. You know, we had a fantastic meeting with the ambassadors, name the names, we discussed the following, it was so exciting, blah, blah, blah. Like, you create hype. That's what writing is all about. That's what PR and publicity writing is all about. And if you don't know how to do that, then let us know. Somebody will write it for you in English. You can then translate it into your own language and put it up on that news page in your own country with a nice photograph of something that inspires. So we constantly, like at least twice a week, a news item or a little update goes onto your country's news page on onesmalltown.news from you, so that people start to seeing you as the ambassador being active and posting little news items or little things on that news page. It's really important that we do that, and different languages.
Okay.
I think some of the confusion, I'm not sure with Jay, is that if you've got like Fayez, Lebanon, the town, that will then, for that community, will have its own website and all the change management that happens and all the exciting things within that town, separate from OST and the OST UK and Lebanon. So those will be separate. But will it be a subset of the platform or completely separate as website? Completely separate. Yeah.
It will be a completely separate website, but obviously we will have a link to that website on the main mother website. The onesmalltown.org website is the mother website. That's the home for everything. So we will have a link to what's going on in Lebanon and to that website, like we have a link to every other country's website. So when the towns start coming on board and we develop the activity action website for that town, of course we can have a link for that, but it'll be a separate, completely separate entity managed by the mayor, the council of the people, the ambassador for that country who drives it and guides them, because obviously they're going to be new to it. So it's going to be up to the ambassadors to guide and advise the people.
So basically Lebanon has its web page through Facebook, and it has a link on the .news with an ambassador. But as a country, it will not have any presence as a website. What will be is the individual villages that have signed up to the One Small Town.
Yeah, I think at this stage, it's more important for the One Small Town village website than creating a whole One Small Town Lebanon website. I don't think it's important.
I'm going to be informing everybody about the experiences that's going through what's happening in the village. I mean, just a reminder that my mother was an educated woman. Yesterday at night, she was telling me, so basically we're going to be bartering. So I have to, that's what I'm focusing right now, on educating people, asking them questions, preparing them, because eventually they will be in several teams, defending the One Small Town. When I talk about teams, obviously there's the council team, there's a teenagers team, I put a data analysis team, I put a spiritual team, obviously the mayor's team. And the good news is I've already found some good investors, including relatives of ours, that are interested in investing like water and hemp extract and biofuel diesel and farming and retreats. So this communication between us is going to be very important, especially for me. To get support at all times.
So each one of those businesses that you mentioned needs to get a full business strategy behind it, a full spreadsheet, a breakdown of the business
plan. Yeah.
How much money is necessary to build that business up, what the expected profits are, and
market analysis, the business language, the bank language.
Exactly. And then that full model with beautiful images and that goes onto the website as one of the businesses we're offering to the investors. We're going to offer it to the investors around the world, knowing that we already have investors, but we still need to put it up there so people can see this is one of the businesses, and it's already been snatched up. That's the best part about it. So when people go and they see this business, they say, oh, wow, I want to invest in that. Oh my God, I'm too late. Somebody's already taken it. That's the situation we want, isn't it? That's capitalism at its best.
Definitely. And what I'm trying to tell everyone is that we already have lots of investors internationally interested. And I always say, yesterday that I spoke to the French ambassador, and he was telling me, so my cousin was like, you know what, let me do the investment, because we want to try and keep it as local as possible. But we play this game, keeping it truthful, obviously, but we can motivate them, because at the end of the day, you want them to be as local as possible.
That'll be fantastic. That'll be fantastic. All right, I think I get a sense we're on the right. We're all on the same page here. If there's anything anybody here misunderstands, please speak up. Okay, so we deal with it right now.
Question: money is important because people that make money will be using money to travel around the world. So we need to always focus that eventually you're gonna have all your basic survival life necessities of charge, but that excess money you can use to travel the world and to invest and to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
In terms of renting in places like England, that they live in apartments that are owned by the government or have to pay council tax and all that. How does One Small Town? What's your strategy on that? I mean, when it comes to like rents and.
Okay, the standard answer to that is we go fish where the fish are. At this stage, we don't really have answers for property ownership right now. we can only deal with that situation once that situation comes up in a town situation. So we identify, well, who are the people that are living in these council homes? Who owns those? Who owns that property? Any way that the community can buy that property, and then make it part of the community-owned property. So we cannot answer those questions until it actually comes up in the physical, real situation.
Yeah, I like to add to what you said. When people asking me how can we fix this problem, I always answer, I don't have all the answers. We just need to share the message until we find people who have the answers. So and my other advice, my small experiment, and we don't need to create so many things because everything is already created, but we just need to share the vision and coordinate between them. So yes, it was just my
yes. Also keep in mind, once we have the successful businesses running and the income from the businesses is coming in, so that we have cash flow for the community, there'll be a different mindset as to what are we going to do with some of the money. Maybe we should buy all the existing land that's available in the town, all the stands, all the pieces of land that are on sale available to buy. We say, okay, well, let's take the next $10 million or whatever and buy all the vacant land. All that land actually belongs to the people of the community. And then, this is just an idea, so that we can actually then decide what we're going to use that land for as a co-op. So it doesn't belong to one individual, it belongs to the co-op. And then we can decide, okay, well, we're gonna build a whole new organic kind of feng shui, new model building, earthship kind of houses that are much nicer. I don't know. It's up to that community. It's up to the people to decide what they want to do. And that's what makes it so exciting, is that the community suddenly feels empowered. They feel like they can make the decisions that they can actually then implement. All right, so let's carry on, and we need to finish this now because we've been here for more than 2 hours.
Can I ask one question, Michael?
Go ahead, Krista.
The companies that want to join the One Small Town, yeah, let's say they already have 10 people working for them. They can't fire them. How do you see that?
That's one of the frequently asked questions. Please watch the Q&A. Watch all the Q&As. That's a very important question, and you need to be able to answer that. You need to be able to answer that very, very, very calmly and with a complete understanding. But let me say this: obviously, our intention is not to drive businesses into the ground, is to grow businesses and to make them bigger and more successful, and give them more access to resources and ingredients and technology. So that's the whole idea. So how you take existing businesses in the town and turn them into community-owned businesses is a very important process. But they never feel threatened. They never feel that we trying to push them out. They feel that they're being invited into a much more successful environment, an environment that will give them far greater success than they ever could have imagined on their own. Okay, so I'm giving you some ideas as to what the answer is, but please watch the video on the Q&A section. It's really important that you are fully informed of all those, and watch it over and over, watch it a few times, because it takes a while. It takes a while to sink in, because remember, we are wired completely the opposite way. Everything in our lives has been wired opposite to what we're trying to do here. So then finally, electricity, and that's very important that you don't get stuck on the electricity issue, because you will get approached. People will want to talk to you about the electricity. They get so crazy and they just want to know, where's the generator? I want a generator. We want a generator for our town. Can you supply us with a generator? And they'll go freaking nuts. And that's all they want. Okay. So That is not what we're doing. We're not providing towns with their own generator or their own electricity. We are implementing a one small town strategy. Part of that strategy is that we will provide that town with the appropriate technology to provide them with their own source of electricity. So I had this discussion with Christian just the other day in Croatia. And it's important for you to understand this. So if somebody talks to you about the generators and can they just buy a generator for the town, the answer is no. Absolutely not. Only towns that sign up to implement the one small town strategy will become eligible to get the electricity technology. It's very important. Now, the electricity is a tricky thing because, as you know, not one person in the world has succeeded in launching the technology or a generator that you can go buy off the shelf. It's not available. We are going to break that spell. There's a several severe number of reasons why this has never happened. And the main reason for that is the global control. People are killed, people disappear, people are paid off, people are threatened, and it simply has never, ever materialized. And there's a very powerful reason behind it. What we're doing with One Small Town is we're breaking that spell. This is what I said right up front. What we're busy with here is so big, is so huge, that most of us don't even realize how big and how huge this is. Because part of this solution is bringing a new alternative source of electricity to that town. That's only going to happen once that town has decided that they want to implement the One Small Town strategy. So there are a number of ways that we then bring that electricity. There are a number of technologies, there are a number of inventors, there are a number of different ways of doing that, but we can only initiate that once the town, the mayor, the co-op of the people signs up and says, this is what we're doing. And we create a public declaration. We start building the website. We start putting the interesting things on the website. And parallel to that, we will then start to work with the inventors that have the right technology, whether it's building the generators in that town or in that country, or building the generator somewhere else and bringing it there and building just one generator. There are various ways that this is going to happen. We will only really know exactly how this is going to happen once the town kicks in and or signs up for the One Small Town strategy with the mayor, the official declaration. Then we'll start working on bringing the energy component into it. It'll happen parallel to us identifying the businesses, doing the spreadsheets and the business plans and the PR videos. Along the same time, we will be working on developing the supply of electricity. And that itself will create a very interesting investment opportunity, either for the people of the town or for outside investors. And it's almost its own separate activity because it's so big. That electricity supply is so big. That's the game changer for the world. And the first small town is going to be the catalyst for this game changer. So it's a huge thing. It's a very, very big thing.
It'd be interesting just managing the business plan presentation, because you wouldn't, in that case, have the electricity cost reduction right from the get-go, because it's something that gets phased in, presumably. So Q4 perhaps starts to work with reduction for free energy.
Yes, exactly. But look, let's put it this way: the moment we launch the One Small Town, it also gives the inventors confidence. It gives the inventors confidence in us, because at the moment the inventors are skittish creatures. They are naive, ignorant, arrogant babies. They are a nightmare to work with. An absolute nightmare. You know, and they always drop you. You get into the, you've run a marathon with them, and you get into the home straight, you've got 100 meters to go, and then they drop you for no reason. They're babies. They are unbelievably immature. It's the most frustrating thing, is to work with inventors on this level. I've never experienced anything like this in my life, but it's changing. It is changing. Just in the last week, I've had contact with 3 inventors. So, and just before this meeting started, I got a message from an inventor showing me the item that we've been working on for the last 7 months, 8 months now, that should have been delivered 8 months ago. Finally, it now looks like it might be delivered next week. So that's the message I got just before we started here. And that's why I was a little bit late, because I was busy talking to that inventor. So things change very quickly in this field. So we just need to be prepared. Let's launch the One Small Town. Let's make it official, because that official statement will bring the technology, will bring the inventors, will bring the investors to us, and everything will change.
I also have one inventor in France. I met him last week, so I can contact.
Excellent.
Contact.
And how is he behaving?
He is locked by all these Freemason society in France. He can do anything. So he said me, I like your energy. I can give you everything freely. Just let's fuck this system. He said like that. So.
Okay. So also, let me just say this to everybody here. If you do come across anybody that has new free energy technology, this is the deal that we offer any one of these individuals. The deal is that they don't need any money to launch this. They don't need to worry about factories. They don't need to worry about distribution or manufacturing or none of that. All they have to do is to give Ubuntu Planet, nonprofit company, give us the manufacturing and distribution rights. That's it. They retain the IP, they retain the intellectual property, they retain the patents, everything. But we get the rights to manufacture and distribute. That in itself is already a huge change from any other investor. Every other investor, the first thing they always tell an inventor is, who owns the IP? We need the IP. That's always the first question. And with that, all deals normally fall flat. So we do completely the opposite. We're not interested in your IP. We're not interested in obtaining your patent. You retain your IP and your patent. In fact, we insist on you retaining your IP and your patent. We don't want you to put another cent in. We don't want you to worry about anything else. All we want is you to sign over the rights to manufacture and market and distribute your technology with specific protections for you. And we do this on the same basis that movies are made, that books are released, that records are released, how the Beatles made their billions, how big record labels make their billions. The artist makes royalties. The inventor is the artist. He makes royalties from his technology all across the world. And the One Small Town is the mechanism through which the inventor will make his royalties. I will explain that in more detail later. I don't want to go into this now. So we have a world-class manufacturing partner, one of the best possible electrical engineering manufacturing partners that can start manufacturing tomorrow. And when I say tomorrow, I mean tomorrow. I'm not being theoretical here, right? The world-class multi-billion company that manufactures world-class components and electrical engineering parts that can start manufacturing this. They will pay for all the costs, all the manufacturing costs, all the development costs, all the setup costs, all the stuff that always is the hurdle from the inventor launching his or her inventions. That's always where it falls flat because it's too expensive. Well, we've just eliminated that cost. All the inventor needs to do is give us the right to manufacture and market their technology. And they start receiving royalties like any record artist or book author receives royalties from every product manufactured and never sold, never ever sold, Again, gets complicated, so I don't want to go into too much detail here. It is rented. We rent the technology. We never ever sell it. Even when the One Small Town gets the generator from us, they don't actually end up, they own it, but if they do anything like tamper with it or try and copy it or anything, that ownership agreement gets cancelled, or we then remove it. We retain the maintenance, and obviously we'll have to maintain it and manage it, and if anything goes wrong, so that agreement sits with us, so they don't have to worry about that. So if you find any inventor, let them know that this is a very simple solution. They retain all their intellectual rights. They'll make hundreds of millions of dollars without having to spend a cent or worrying about manufacturing. And it can start literally tomorrow. All they have to do is show us proof of concept. If they show us a working machine, we'll jump into action literally within 24 hours. That's how advanced this deal is. Okay. So then resignation of ambassadors. I think this is the last thing. If anybody feels any doubt about what we're doing, if any one of us or of you feels that you're not ready, you don't understand, or it's not what you think it was, or if you have any doubts, then please resign now. Tell me, because I don't want to go 6 months or 12 months down the road and then suddenly you change your mind and you're not so sure. You know, get out now so we can find somebody that's going to hold this role. So make sure that you know exactly what this is about, what we are doing, and be passionate, be fully informed, and be in it for the long run, because this is not a little thing we're doing. This is a big thing we're doing. You're part of a very big thing. It's taken up 2 decades of my life. So, and already several years of other people's lives. So if you're not sure, tell me, and let's rather, find somebody else for this role. And then keep in mind, primary focus of ambassadors is be the first contact in your country, be well informed and approachable, hand over to MT, that's me, or contact MT when in doubt, manage emails, to manage the news page, to write update and short news clips, to contact mayors and councillors, and to drive the funding and patron page, because we constantly need funding all the time. So these are some of the basic expectations and primary focus of the ambassador. And once we get to the One Small Town where the mayors engage, obviously that role will then change, and it'll enter a higher level where the ambassador will have to then also advise and guide the next steps. What do they do next? Like Fayez is doing in Lebanon right now. He is basically guiding the mayor through the whole process. So very important. And I think that's it. Be the face and the voice of One Small Town in your country. That's the role of the ambassador. Be the face and the voice of One Small Town in your country. And remember that the One Small Town is a PR and a marketing plan for the town. So this is, I didn't finish editing this, so ignore this. So basically the One Small Town plan is a PR and marketing exercise for the town.
Can you share this by email if possible?
Yes, I will. I'll just finish. I realized I was running out of time before I finished this. So I'll edit this. And we create investment-friendly environment for investors into our town. And One Small Town can change the world. Why not yours? Workshop. Thank you very much.
Hi, guys.
Michael, ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Could you have a different email address just for the ambassadors? So your email address.
Oh, you mean how to contact me?
Yeah, just for us.
We have the WhatsApp group.
We have the WhatsApp group, so that's the easiest and quickest way to send a message to everybody, always.
No, not just for you, because now our emails are, in between all the emails of all the people. Michael J. Tellinger,
Yes.
gmail.com. Could you have a different email address?
Just start a new one.
Okay, I'll create a new email. What would you suggest? What do you think it should be called?
Yeah, like michael@onesmalltown.org. Yeah.
Okay, I'll create michael@onesmalltown.org and make that my email address.
Okay. Great.
Then I know it comes from ambassadors.
From ambassadors, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion. Isn't Telegram better than WhatsApp for many reasons? We can.
I think it may be. If you feel, the only thing is I'm not used to using Telegram that much, and I'm still a little bit confused by Telegram.
Okay. Because we can make some poll. When you have a question, you make poll when available. We can all answer. It's there is some tools who are better for you to manage us with Telegram.
Okay. Well, thanks for bringing that up, Junaid. I was thinking about it. I don't know enough about Telegram. I have my own Telegram group, but I don't even know how to use it. So my feeling is that that maybe we should create it. Must I create the group?
One other thought is to actually have a Teams set up, so we're all part of the same team, so you can do lots of different things off of Teams or Slack. Facebook, WhatsApp, because it's controlled by Facebook, excuse my language, is good, and it promises encryption, but I'm just a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, look, we're very open about what we're doing. The reason I'm still alive, I suppose, and for some reason, is because I've always been completely open about my actions against the banks and everything I've done. So it's completely open for everyone to read about as much as they want. So nothing is hidden. So
you have Michael, the archangel, on top of it always.
And yes, we need to be completely open about One Small Town, so everybody can. It's an open book. There's no secrets here. This is what we're doing. If you want to do something else, go do something else. God bless you.
Can we just define how many times by week or by month we can get these workshops, and the next steps about the workshops? For example, the tools or organization about Ubuntu International. Maybe we need to make a workshop about that to understand better how the website working, who is the team behind you, who are. Can we just define it? With agenda, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we will work about how to present or how to understand. And if we can record it for the new ambassadors, they just need to watch it and we'll know what are our tools.
I think so. Good idea. Yeah. Good. So maybe we meet again in 2 weeks. Is that what you're suggesting? We meet again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks will be great, I guess.
Okay, good.
We can also do one nice animated video and just put voiceover in different languages.
Very good. I see Gabriel's put his hand up. That's very funny. I see this little yellow hand pop up there. Does it mean you want to say something, Gabriel?
Yes, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, I think we have to get to the electricity part again, because unfortunately, and I like the fact that you've already added out how dangerous it is actually to even discuss electricity. In terms of if there are inventors out there, I think we should really treat it with very soft gloves, especially when you're trying to turn around the electricity game in any country, because there you're gonna get a lot of shit with the government and so forth. And it's good that we're actually starting it out on a very small populace, because basically where you can go off grid. And until the particular small towns are registered either as a cooperative or what have you, not or NGOs, I would highly say or suggest that in terms of PR and marketing, when it comes to electricity, that should be one of the things that are done in the background as a provable model why in the first place it actually worked to begin with. And those are things that people can find out later on. Those are not really things that you want to ever really air out publicly, because you must remember that normally 70 to 60% of electricity is the energy consumption for any economic vehicle. And when you take that out of any current system so openly, I can assure you they're going to send you the avalanches that we are not prepared for. So I would highly suggest for this particular initiative to be very sensitive when it comes to how you are actually going to be speaking about the electricity or grid implementation things until it's really already implemented. That's my two things that I wanted to say. And secondly, I also wanted to say, because we're discussing what type of businesses can there be and what not have you not. The beautiful thing is, we must remember we are all now currently on different geographical points or locations. And I do believe that there are certain markets that might be actually maybe in France or UK or Brazil or South Africa or Croatia that might need certain things that are only available in South Africa or in Namibia or Germany or the UK. And if that particular resource or service or product output is needed in your current village or town, it would be good to notify the team internally to say that, look, guys, these are the resources that we already have in our current small town. There is already, let's say now, a high drive in particular agro or biomass space or manufacturing space or what have you not. And it already has a certain export appeal. Is there actually even a buyer out there that you could actually reach out that is reliable to sustain this, and we can work it out backwards, because at the end of the day, it's based on the market, and the market is to be driven by demand and supply.
Totally. You're almost jumping ahead to once we have multiple small towns and the interaction and interaction between the small towns across borders and across different countries. So I think this is definitely something that we need to be totally aware of, and especially within the inner circle, to know where the offtake for some of the technologies and services can be in other countries or in our own countries. So absolutely, Gabriel. Yeah. Okay, I think we've exhausted ourselves enough for one day. I want to, if anybody has any parting words or anything finally to say.
Can I just sort of sum it up for my brain? So that means the next steps are going to be set up the Facebook OST, do the interlink with Facebook to get it out there, and to get administer rights on the OST news website so we can start posting. Is that the first steps we can do? And then we will just wait for all the material, so we can unite all the material, standardize everything, sort of, code identity, sort of, and individually what we can do is, well, I was thinking to start translating the OST videos. Is that okay with captions?
Absolutely. If you are in a position, in any kind of position, to start translating the One Small Town videos into your language, absolutely. But before you do that, let's first agree on which are the most important videos to do the translations on, so that we can, the other language people, okay, don't worry about this one, okay, focus on these videos only, so that we have same videos translated into other languages. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a mess.
Yeah,
good.
So Jay, if you and I can communicate on which videos are the most suitable videos to translate into other languages, and we'll make a list of those, and we can share that with everybody, so that we know, if you can translate, focus on these videos.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, and then I will share the PowerPoint presentations. I'll fix this one up. I will share this with everybody so you have this. I will also be doing a voiceover to the crash course, the implementation, what I call the implementation crash course PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to do a voiceover. I'm going to read it. You're not going to see my face. You're just going to see the slides with a voice reading it. So that's easy to translate into other languages. And I think it's a very important one to have because it's going to be 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know how long, but no more than 10 minutes. And it's going to be very quick, pacey, so it's not boring. So it's nice and speedy. We might put some nice quirky music to it. And so we can translate it into different languages very easily because it's a PowerPoint with a voiceover that reads what you see on the PowerPoint. So that's very easy to do in different languages.
I wrote a suggestion of workshop. Maybe the next workshop we can just be focused on what is the priorities of translation for each country. I don't know. It's just suggestion because we have so many works to do. For split chat, and I'm looking the next Saturday is the 14th August. If it's okay for everyone, I'm just blocking my.
Let's do. Let's book that for the 14th of August. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important what Cornet just did to do a minute where we write the story of the meeting.
Yeah.
So that we all know what to do. And I just wanted to add, being that there's a lot of musicians here and artists, if we come up with a nice song for once in town.
Yeah.
Cool. Andreas, have you had any more contact with Nina?
With whom?
With Nina in Germany.
No, but she came out with on her last concert in Germany, and she spoke her mind, and now she's the bad girl anyways.
Ooh.
Nobody likes her anymore. She said everybody is free to do what they want, don't get the injection and all this. So now she's persona non grata, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, I just want to say I love you very much. Thank you very much for this commitment. Thank you for your time. You're awesome human beings. I love you more than you, more than you, more than you, more than you, more than you.
We love you even more. All the way.
Thanks,
I just
Michael.
wanted to add to the ambassadors, and obviously we're in this for life, but in case you decide one day to quit, which won't happen unless if there's, medical reasons, you're creating a platform right now. So whoever comes after you should see everything clear and transparent. You have to have a good database with everything documented, especially when it comes to PR, because the last thing you want is the next guy to come and, contact some mayor and realize that he already had a connection with the previous guy. This won't happen, but anyway, I just felt like bringing it up on a professional level.
Look, let's just summarize here, right? So at this stage, Gabriel in Namibia is already in touch with at least 4 mayors, and they already are interested in councillors. Christian in Croatia is in touch with at least 1 mayor and some councillors, and probably more in the very near future. Jay in Brazil is in touch with councillors and potentially mayors very, very soon. Mark in Australia has been in touch with hundreds of mayors and councillors and has at least, 28 reasonable positive responses. Fayez is already struck a home run with a mayor that wants to implement this. This is no longer an idea. This is we're implementing this plan. Okay, so realize how far we've come and be proud of this. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of this team, and we haven't even come out of the starting blocks, and look what we've achieved.
Yeah,
you had America, you had Arizona as well.
Yes, but unfortunately, Arizona turned out to be a little bit of a lame duck for all kinds of reasons that I'll get to maybe later. It's not important. Again, a complete misconception of what we are doing. Yeah.
Oh, shame.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Thank you so much.
Until next time.
We stand. Peace to all. Love to all.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Take care.
Obrigado. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh.